Internet, this is Sarah from Never Out of Books, and today I have the second half of my August wrap-up. I read 5 additional books in the last 2 weeks of August that I want to get to. Most of them were on my Nook and Kindle, and a couple of them I got from the library, either in physical book or on my Kindle. So I don't have anything, and I haven't figured out how to put like little book pictures up in the corners yet. That's like my next thing to learn about doing this. So you'll just have to go with me here. So the first book that I read in the second half of August was The Pursuit by Janet Ivanovich, and I think it's Lee Goldberg writing together. And this is the 5th book in the Fox and O'Hare series. So again, I don't want to give too much information about it, but these are like scam books. There's heist scams. The whole thing is a big con. It reads a bit like maybe an Ocean's 11 sort of deal. And they are just so much fun. So in this one, Fox is kidnapped by a band of thieves to help them steal diamonds. They leave him in a halt where O'Hare finds him. O'Hare is actually affiliated with the FBI and Fox is a con man. He gets arrested, and there happens to be more than diamonds in the vault. So in order for them to get back what was in the vault, they have to go undercover and con the con people. The only thing I don't like about these books is the characters don't really grow very much. They kind of are what they are, and you kind of just have to go with it and enjoy it. But as with all Janet Ivanovich books, there's, definitely have to suspend your reality and just go with it. It's a lot of fun. Kate O'Hare's father is a riot, and there's flamethrowers and grenade launchers and just it's just wild. It's just wild. It was a great book. It was a lot of fun. It was just what I needed because I hadn't read anything really great this month. I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Once a Soldier by Mary Jo Putney. She is one of the queens of Regency or historical romance novels, and I got this from NetGalley for an honest review. I don't normally get NetGalley books. This one came out on June 26th. This is the first book in a new series, the Rogues Redeemed series. This was a very classic example of a very solid romance novel. It's set right in the middle of, I want to say, the Napoleonic Wars, and there is a country that doesn't really exist in real life but does in this story, and one of the soldiers ends up going to this country and finding an English woman there. They're trying to prevent a coup of the country, and it's a very slow burning romance and very political in nature, the dealings with this country and trying to rebuild it after the wars. So it was very good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I will probably continue reading the series, although I'm sure the next book doesn't come out for another year. The next book I pulled off of my Nook that's been sitting on there since 2014 or something like that, and it is called The Bride Says No by Kathy Maxwell, another historical romance novel. This is the first book in the Brides of Wishmore trilogy, I believe, and this one focuses on Eileen. And Eileen leaves Scotland, where she's born. Her father is a gambler and he takes her to London for her season. She marries a man that her father chooses. There's abuse, and she allegedly commits adultery, and he divorces her very publicly, and now she's in Scotland in disgrace. And immediately when her father took her back to Scotland, he took her little sister, Tara, to London to find a man. And now Tara runs away from London, comes back home to Scotland, jilting her fiance, and that brings everybody to Scotland, and shenanigans ensue, I guess you could say. Again, this was another book that was an excellent example of what a Regency romance is. I really enjoyed it. Eileen learned a lot. She's not exactly what everyone thinks of her. Her little sister Tara, we see a lot of her in the book too, although I'm assuming her romance is the next one in the series. but she's a brat, and I really wanted to slap her. So she was incredibly irritating to me throughout this entire book. So I'm not sure I'm going to actually read the next books in the series. I feel like I've done it and I'm happy and it was good. But I don't feel the need to see her story after how bratty she was in this one. And I'm glad that Eileen got an excellent ending to her story. So I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Calamity Jane and the Sisterhood of the Traveling Lawn Gnome. This is the number 8 in the Calamity Jane series. I believe this is only available in ebook. People compare them to the Stephanie Plum series. Calamity Jane, she's just what she sounds like. Everything she does, she's fallen all over the place. She's a klutz. Each book is a little individual mystery that she ends up solving. Some of them are murder mysteries and other are smaller mysteries like this one that end up being a big deal. This book was probably my least favorite so far. I mean, we are getting pretty far into this series right now. And I feel like the personal lives of the people really didn't take any steps anywhere in this one. Everyone was still their typical self. I like to see a little bit of growth over a series, even just a tiny smidgen of it. And I feel like we're still kind of stalled with her Calamity Jane being with her particular love interest there, but nothing moving forward. And that was a bit irritating to me. Considering I really do enjoy these books and, you know, again, their silliness and such. So that being said, I encourage people to read some of the first books because they are really funny. So if you're in the mood for something funny, definitely go check out Calamity Jane. And the last thing that I read in August was a graphic novel, Hyperbole and a Half, by Ali Broche. I believe that's also the title of her blog, which I have not read. And this book was hilarious. Okay, seriously, I couldn't even believe what I was reading and seeing. I mean, the sketches in it are so childlike and yet at the same time so incredibly profound. I can't even articulate. The stories in it about her dogs, it's like such dog behavior. It was so funny. It had me laughing on the ground. And I also have to say, I suffer from, clinical chronic depression, and her description of depression, there's only 2 chapters, so don't think like the whole book is about depression, but we're so spot on and made me laugh so hard. So good. And I think I only gave it 4 stars. I'm tempted to bump it up to 5 because really I immediately sent it over to my family for them to read because it is so funny. And I was even reading them parts of it down here and showing them the pictures of the dogs. And seriously, go read it. I haven't checked out her blog. I need to do that next, but really go check it out of your library and read it. It's a graphic novel, even though it's 300 and something pages, so it reads fairly quickly. And that was probably my favorite book of August overall. And that's it. I believe I only read 11 books this month total, so not my best. And especially considering most of them were short, funny reads. So September is going to be back to the grind. We will finish Dubliners and Great Expectations. I hope. And Ribsat. I am participating in Ribsat this week. Like currently as I'm filming this, Ribsat is going on. And I've already finished 2 books for that. So we're doing good. And I hope everyone else had a lovely reading month. I can't wait to watch everybody's wrap-ups. And I will see you next time. Bye!